What do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Da 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 da. Okay. Hello, internet. I want to push a topic to you guys. I want to push. Okay. I want to push a topic to you guys. Which type of art would be more meaningful to our world? An art form which is imbued with a lot of purpose or meaning or complexity, or artwork which is revered by the masses. For a very, very long time, I thought the first one was the answer. I always thought that if I made a song that was about a difficult topic, right, and it was somewhat a delve into it, looking for solutions and such, giving guidance, so pretty much like, chock full of purpose. It could be current issues, it could be, old philosophical questions, doesn't really matter. I honestly thought whatever art form it was, as long as it references, those kind of issues, and mostly kind of, delved into them to kind of find out what's going on, and even more than that, maybe proposed solutions and such. I always thought those kinds of songs mattered over any other kind of songs. So if only one person had a song that's imbued with deep philosophical meaning, or political meaning, or religious meaning, depending on where people are, whatever people value, but whatever objectively matters, I'd say that's another caveat. So that song will have much, much more importance than maybe a Katy Perry song, right? A song just meant to entertain. Over the years, though, I've come to kind of understand the value of entertainment, because I've come to see people who come into entertainment, propagate all these things that we all know is wrong, but we love. Just a culture of enjoyment, I guess. I don't know. Women, cars, drugs, sex, all those things. And then these people make one song, just one song with a message, right? And they change an entire culture's perspective, which is absolutely insane. I mean, there's a couple of musicians who've done this like over the time. Like they have a lot of songs which is kind of normal songs. Then they come with this one meaningful song, and because they've been gaining so much, so much appeal from the masses instinctively listen and shift, because they idolize whoever this guy is. And so I started kind of thinking, this guy, maybe let's say 10, 20 songs he's made, and all of them are entertainment value and nothing else. And like you could look at his entire maybe repertoire of music and go like, all of it is trash. Then nothing matters in his entire repertoire. And the same guy, makes this like powerful statement against like a current issue. And this is maybe Charles Gambino's, This Is America, Jonah Lucas's Ross Capiccioni, I think. I don't know, I'm not sure. But I mean, those kinds of songs, they don't come from perfect people, but when they're presented by these people to an audience that expects entertainment, the audience, takes it up and it changes their perspective of the world. Or when these people talk in interviews and such. So I started thinking about these art forms, and the fact that maybe they're valued, but that maybe when a musician, or when any artist, I think pretty much, starts putting out their artworks to a public, to the public generally, the value of their artwork is no longer the artwork itself. You have people at the very, very top, make very average music, and that average music becomes a thing of discussion for months, maybe even years, depending on the song. And it's because the song itself doesn't exist in isolation, right? It is it's a droplet of water thrown from an ocean onto a waiting public, something of the sort. And so that droplet all of a sudden, no matter what the quality is, it has a lot of value, whether the song is good or whether the song is bad, whether it's perceived properly or it's perceived bad. Even if people hate the songs, they listen to them and they have an opinion on them, and that's influence on a mass scale. So I started thinking that song, that one song that Drake makes, so that 3 years later he makes a song about maybe drug abuse or maybe love and all those kinds of things, and he's very meditative about it, and all those people listen, right? So that one song before that, does it have any value? And all of a sudden, its value isn't tied into that one song, right? Its value is tied into all the songs the artist has done. The value is tied into the mass appeal that the artist has, the influence he has on people, and all of a sudden, whatever message he's sending, it will consistently be larger than him, be larger than life. And so, compare that to this one song that has maybe deep, philosophical or political meaning, that this one person has chucked and only 10 people have listened to. The way I see it is, the only way that song will matter more than these other songs is that it will empower the one to have influence over the many in future. So this is maybe me making a song that only 3 people listen to on YouTube, and one of the 3 people gets something that matters. It emboldens them, it empowers them. And the thing is, this song doesn't even, this song could or could not have deep philosophical meaning. All that it needs to do is just empower whoever this person is, and this person goes out there and he revolutionizes some industry, because this one song encouraged him to. And so at the end of the day, again, the idea is, whatever product you've made, the value, matters when it affects a large body of people. And I think it's because of art's nature. There's a time we were doing a thought experiment with a couple of my friends, considering a world without art, because many people would go like, that would be a dull place, etc., etc. And we really kind of push the point of, does art really have art? Art doesn't build buildings. It doesn't. If I learn how to do engineering, I have influence on the objective world, right? I can build on top of it. Art is different. Art is something that allows you to build on the hearts of men or animals, living things, I'd say generally. But mostly people, right? Because they understand the full spectrum of whatever is being offered out, like if it's a song, So the greatest value that art has is to influence or to sway the heart of a person. And in its most basic form, the sway is towards entertainment. Did I enjoy the piece of art or not? And that enjoyment has a lot of value. That's a song you listen to when you're at work and you're bored and you feel like sleeping, and you listen to and you can continue going just a little bit longer. It's the song that you listen to in the club and you're dancing all your troubles away and such, and you feel free in that moment, and that freedom is mad, expression for you that builds your spirit and builds your character towards a direction. And the same song now, that could be songs that change your religious or your political or your philosophical ideologies, or the perception of whatever you believed in before, maybe to something else, or to strengthen whatever you have. And so at the end of the day, the way I see it is, the world will always move the way the masses want to. The world belongs to the masses, right? It's either the masses control it themselves, or somebody controls the masses to move it to a certain direction. And whatever artwork we have, I feel it matters directly towards that, how efficiently it moves the masses. And I feel like a normal pop song whose purpose is just enjoyment, in that regard, will have a lot more value than a song which has maybe deep, has been imbued meaning, like deep meaning, and maybe even complexity, right? Complexity is another interesting one, because I was listening to Jacob Collier with a couple of people, and we had this discussion, the same way with maybe jazz, where a piece of art is so complex that it actually shuns people away rather than bring them in, right? and you really have to have either a deep understanding of the musical thing, or like a given appreciation for the thing, yeah. So that it matters to you, you know. If you've ever seen Jacob Collier play, he really doesn't let his piano breathe. He just kind of goes at it continually. Even though sometimes he's kind of, you know, playing at the same space, you know, maybe same chord. I don't know what I did there, but the idea here is complexity matters in a place where it can be understood by many. Many people just can't understand complexity, not yet anyways. But if something is built to be complex and to be magnificent and all these things, you know, does it have more value than something that has been consumed by many people? And I don't think so. Maybe a last thought. I don't even know how long this is going on for, but maybe a last thought. I was getting all these things as I was talking to a couple of people, and as I was reading YouTube comments for pop songs that, or hip hop songs or trap songs that I don't particularly like. And I do listen to hip hop and trap and such. But I also kind of understand the fact that the songs aren't imbued by meaning, and the culture itself isn't something that I would want to subscribe to. I consistently run away from it. And for a lot of people, I mean, they really matched the feeling they felt with a form of freedom, a form of empowerment. You know, you're working for someone who you don't want to work for, but when I listen to the song, I am strong. And the feelings are very base, right? The feelings of freedom, the feelings of strength, the feelings of movement, and all those kinds of things. And when it's imbued with people, they have the strength to kind of carry on another day, or to face a task that they were running away from, to face situations that they're carrying on from, to move into new cultures and such. Even the cultures aren't good at all for them, but they are presented with the strength to move forward towards some direction. And at the end of the day, there's a they call it a thought experiment in Wikipedia. If a tree falls in the forest, far from everyone, does it make a sound? I mean, that makes no sense in objective reality. Yes, it does. You just can't hear it. But I mean, culturally, that makes so much sense. If something happens in absolute isolation, or in, you know, barely like their isolation, does it matter? You know, does it matter at all? Does it exist? Will its influence linger, and etc. etc. I think the beautiful thing about art, any artwork that's being made, is that it doesn't live on today. I mean, it lives on forever. As long as you've made something and you've put it out, then it lives on for as long as the world will allow it to live on, you know. And I feel that because of that, like, any art form has the possibility to change, you know, everything, even if it's just 3 listeners now. I mean, in the future it could be, you know, billions, you know, down the road. But at the end of the day, I really do feel that art's true purpose is to influence the soul of men, so that men can change the world that they live in. And so whatever art form changes the most hearts in the most dramatic way, I feel is a winner. I value its end more than its means, because the end has a very, I would say, a very clear effect on an objective reality, which is pretty much our world, you know, the physical stuff, and all that stuff. It changes. It's whatever it changes replicates onto the real world in some type of way, and so that's why I put meaning on what any art form will change. I mean, daily it changes our hearts, whether it's through enjoyment or through meaning. It changes our hearts towards some direction, and then we change the world that we live in. So that's it. I dropped something. It's an earbud. That's what you get for today.